Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à Montréal. My name is Isabelle Van Grimde. I'm a choreographer and the artistic director of Van Grimde Corps Secret. I'm really delighted and very honored to be invited to speak to you today. I will try to share my personal journey towards interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity. I will not attempt to preach for it, as I profoundly believe that all approaches to creation are totally important and should be respected and supported. My personal journey into transdisciplinarity challenged me a great deal, but it opened up my horizons, brought a lot of exchanges, new ideas and new tools into my practice. And I found great inspiration, new motivation and energy to create. I brought into this journey longtime collaborators, dancers, composers, lighting designers, costume designers, and administrators who were all equally challenged. But those who stayed with me met the challenges brilliantly, and I thank them for standing by me. I believe that it is my collaborations with music that brought me into this new territory. First of all, a small personal lexicon about how I understand. I know that at this forum, we're all talking about interdisciplinarity. It all started with multidisciplinarity, the use of several disciplines to create work. Interdisciplinarity for me is more like using what is common from several disciplines. And I use the term transdisciplinarity for my work at the moment because I believe it transcends all disciplines, even beyond the arts. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So how did the transdisciplinary research inform the scenario? For EVE 2050, like for the body in question, we had a call for papers. We received papers from different countries, both in the sciences, anthropology, psychology, psychiatry, the neurosciences, biology, and as well as from artists from all disciplines. And we had a series of brainstorming sessions at our studio Espace Corps Secret that were focused on the different teams we were exploring. So they always had like the core creative team plus some guests who could inform the process from their own discipline. And here's an example of the surprising things that we learned during this brainstorm.
Microbiome humain a révélé récemment que la moitié de nos cellules ne sont pas des cellules humaines et 99% des gènes qui composent notre corps sont en fait des gènes bactériens.
So in English, the biologist François-Joseph Lapointe, who specializes in the microbiome, informed us that more than 50% of the cells in our body are not human. And also that 99% of the genes in our body are not human, they're all bacterial. So that really changes the perception of one's body. It's being an ecosystem rather than being one individual. And so this research informed the whole process and the writing of the scenario of the web series, which explores in origin new rituals of life and death and new modes of reproduction. In Transform, it explores the fusion with the machine and the machine trying to read the human. In Hybrid, it explores a lesser known possibility of augmentation, which is the hybridization with other species, both vegetal or animal or bacterial. To all this to enhance our sense and to be able to capture more data from the universe and get a better sense of the universe around us, because apparently the human body is very ill-equipped to sense most of the data in the universe. And in Sapiens, we explore the possibility that humanity will split into 3 different species by 2050. The cyborg, the one who will opt for fusing with the machine, which is the better known part of this because it's the research into that is financed by big conglomerates like Google, for instance. The hybrids who will choose to augment their senses by hybridization with other species, and the pure et dure sapiens who will refuse augmentation, or perhaps rather will not be able to afford any enhancement. The other aspect that the web series touches on is the main problem in 2050, which is the problem of the lack of water, or the difficulty in sharing the water on the planet, and that's why part of the web series is filmed in the desert. So the installation is a completely different approach. It's immersive. When you walk in a space that's enchanted by technology, things happen as you walk by them or as you touch them. You can visit it without or with live performances. And we've pushed several new technologies, so we had to research them through many labs at our studio to finally decide the ones that would work best. And your image is captured by infrared cameras, Kinects, and then in real time projected on the holographic panels or elsewhere in the space, so you become part of the story. You are woven to the story of Eve, and depending on your trajectory, you make your own story within the installation. In the installation, the same technologies that we used without sensors on the dancers' bodies for the interactivity with the image, we're using the same technology for interactivity with the sound, so it creates this wonderful effect that the sound seems to emanate from the body of the dancers or the body of the visitors of the installation. Thank you for your presence.